The CerealBox mood board. I'm going to teach you techniques on how to make the mood board, but I'm also going to spend some time talking about libraries. So this is going to be part one of a two-part video series. We are going to download the CerealBox mood board inside of Photoshop, which is already organized for you. And then you're going to hop over to your Google Chrome and you're going to open up your drive and access the images that you had saved. I want to download these. I'm going to do Command A to select all of them. I'm going to right click and download the entire folder. It comes out into a zip folder, which you are going to have to open up. So you want to go ahead and double click and open and have them exposed just like this. So when we go into our Creative Cloud, we can access them. Now, I want to have access to these pictures inside of Photoshop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to the cloud and click on it. Click on Files. And you have your files. These are your projects that you've been working on. Okay? We're going to go into Libraries. And I want you to make a brand new library. We're going to call this Serial Design. Or let's call it CerealBox Design. And create. We want to upload a file, so I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Your downloads should be opened. If they're not, you just simply click on the blue folder, drag a selection across all your pictures, and go ahead and add. Upload. Okay. The other thing I want you to think about is going into that Adobe Cloud or Adobe Color website. And I want you to come over here to the side after you've signed in, and I want you to choose your new library, CerealBox Design. Okay? And I want you to think about the color palette you might want to use. You can use colors directly from these pictures. You can also go in and create your own colors. You can explore and search. You can look up trends and add to your library. So this is fashion, graphic design, all of these. It's really important when you're trying to think of the colors that you're using for your project to imagine who your audience is. So if I'm doing a cereal called Fruity Pals, I'm going to want to definitely focus on some kid-friendly colors. So I would definitely try going to the game design section or maybe children's colors in the search bar and see if I can't find colors that I think would go best with kids. What's going to attract them to my box. So I'm just taking a look. I like these colors. It's kind of not quite there. This one's getting there. And I also have a picture of cereal picked out, and so I can kind of gauge based on the colors of my cereal. So I think this one might work. Okay. Now at the top, make sure that it says the name of the library that you've created, and then go down to the color that you're going to. Oh, that's funny, it has the word fruity in it, which is perfect. I'm going to go ahead and add to library. So this is now being added to the library that I already created because I identified that in the beginning. Okay? Alright, so I've got my colors, I've got my images, I'm going to minimize the internet, close my Creative Cloud, and now you can see before I close it, I have my colors in there. Alright, now if you want to access libraries, they open up automatically in your swatches or your panels, but you can also open them up under Window. Alright, I have layer 0. This is going to be my background color. I'm going to grab all of that stuff that I just put into that library. So I'm going to go to my libraries, click on my folder, and you'll see I have everything available. Okay, so I'm going to double click on these, and they've gone into my swatches. At least I think they should have. And if they haven't, I can use my eyedropper. Yes, so I can click on these individually. I don't have to. And once you click on them individually, they actually do go into your swatches. Okay. All right, I'm gonna grab my paint bucket, which is where my gradient tool is. I'm gonna hold that down and grab my paint bucket. And then I'm just gonna try to mess around with the colors. So I'm gonna try using purple maybe for layer 0. And if it's not the right value, just go in and double click and try to get it to the value that you like. And try finding the right color. Okay. All right, once you have your background color, you're gonna move into your second layer, and it's not really a layer, it's actually a group. It's gonna house all of your fonts, all of your typefaces for the name of your cereal. So in order to open it up, you have to click on it and make sure this arrow is pointing down. The folder changes its look as well. So everything I'm making right now is gonna go right into this folder, okay? So I'm gonna grab my type tool and I'm gonna give myself a nice size box. You can place this type box wherever you want. You could put your type down here, you could put it in the top left corner, it's really up to you. The only thing is you've got to change it to black or a color that you can see. And you're going to have to make sure that the type is not too big for the box that you created. So it's always better to start with a smaller size and get larger or go bigger, okay? So I'm going to increase until I can't possibly fit it into that box anymore. So 48 seems to be my cutoff. If I wanted to go between 48 and 60, I could highlight this number and I would change it to a higher number. Okay, but I like the way that looks. I also selected a font that I thought looked good with this, with the type of cereal, so I could see that being on the cover to a cereal box. Okay. Now, I'm going to make a copy of this layer by doing Command J inside the Layers panel, and with my Move tool, I'm going to hold Shift and I'm going to send my copy down to the bottom, double click on it, and then I just simply have to choose a different style font. So double click again. Now, every font that you pick may not fit in this box. You might have to change the type because it's got different spacing than the one above. So just keep that in mind. All right, Command J, hold Shift, double click, go back to your type tools, and try not to pick just a random type, but actually something that you think would go really well with your box. And again, always keep in mind your audience. Who are you making this cereal for? What's your age demographic? Another thing to consider, what is it going to look like on a box? If it's a fancy font, it might not translate well, so just keep that in mind as well. Okay, I'm going to do this one more time because I need 7 of these, or 5 of these. Close, open it back up. Okay, good. All right, now if I wanted to move these at any time, I could actually, I don't think I could take the whole group. I have to hand select each one. So I'd have to hold Shift or click one and then hold Shift and then select them all. The other thing you can do while they're all selected is you can do Command T and you could actually shrink them down if they're too big, which I thought they were. So I've moved them and I've also changed the size. Okay, so that's a way to edit all of them at the same time. Okay, in the next video, I'm going to show you color samples and then get into the images.